Jai Shri Krishna. Today we're going to start chapter 14. And this chapter and 13, they are complementary. So whenever Bhagwan Sri Krishna told Arjun about Gyan, he went into great depth. First, he told about Gyan in chapter 7, where he talked about Panch Bhut, Three Guna, Ashtadha Prakriti of his, how it works, what's made up of. Then in chapter 9, Bhagavan said, Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshami anasuyave. I am going to tell you the most secret Gyan. Pravakshami, I am going to tell you. Because you are anusuyave. अर्जुन से कहा अनुसूयवे. अनुसूयवे क्या मतलब था? उसके अंदर कोई असूया नहीं थी, असूया दोष नहीं था. He was very pure-hearted person. So, unless you are pure-hearted person, Gyan would not go in there. Because Gyan is pure. So you had to be pure-hearted for Gyan to come in. So that's why Bhagavan Krishna told him, I am going to tell you the most secret Gyan. Then he said in chapter 13, what is Kshetra and Kshetragna, which is also about Gyan, Gyan of body, Prakriti and Atma, Paramatma. And now the secret Gyan in this, the 14th chapter, Bhagavan is telling Arjuna. The secret Gyan consists of the following. Number one, what is Jeev? That is the most important in Sansar. What is Jeev? Everything is done for because of Jeev and for the Uddhara of Jeev. So Jeev is number one. We all have, there is Jeev in all of us. So Jeev is number one. Then what is Sansar? Jeev has to come in Sansar for the purpose of Uddhar. So that Sansar, he says, what is Sansar? He tells you in this chapter. How does it operate? How does Sansar work? Things work in Sansar. And what is our goal as human being? Where we must go from here? In Hindu Dharma, they say after 84 lakh yoni, you get Manushya, Sharir, body of human being. So the question, what do we do with this body of human being? Because after this, there is no guarantee I'm going to come back as human being. Right? What shall we do? What this human body is for? That is what we'll talk about this. Whenever Bhagavan said to Arjun that you are dear to me, he wanted to tell Arjun that there are certain things to which you must pay special attention. Whenever he said, you are dear to me, then he goes on to say what is the things that he should pay most attention to. As in chapter 13, Bhagavan said that humans mostly think of their body. Common human being, what they think about? They think about their body. What I'm going to eat tomorrow, what I'm going to cook today, all that sort of stuff. My house air conditioning not working, how should we fix it, right? And have more facilities or for our body. That's what everybody is working for. Right? We don't want to walk to grocery store. We need a car to go there. It's for what? It's for body. Everything human beings sansar thinks about body. Right? There is an Atma Tattva. Bhagavan says there is Atma Tattva. You know what Tattva is? Tattva is something which has essence to it. Okay? Atma has essence to it. Atma is. Okay? Paramatma is. All these prapanch that you see, that is also there. It is there. It's not that it's not there. It's not mirage or something. It is there. It is Tattva. That's what Tattva is. So there is Atma Tattva, which is Jivatma. We call it Jivatma. And also with it, there is Anatma Tattva, which is the body. They are together. Atma Tattva residing in Anatma Tattva. But we have to, what is important is Atma Tattva, not Anatma Tattva. Body is not important. Yes, you have to take care of the body so you can do your daily rituals. But other than that, body is not important. As a result of a jnana, we consider body itself as Atma. Whenever we do this, whatever we do in general is geared towards the bodily sukh, sharirik sukh. Most of things are geared towards that. Right? Everybody does that. That is why most people want to go around to see places in the world. It makes them feel good. Right? Change of scenery. It makes me feel very nice. It was very nice out there. Now, for who that nice thing is, nicety is for what? It's for the sense gratification. Okay? You saw something, you liked it, your senses got gratification from that. Right? Change of scenery. You don't like what you see, you went there, oh yeah, it's different, it's very nice. After a while, if you stay there, you will not like that either. Then you got to go somewhere else. Correct? So who are we doing? What tattva we are doing this thing for? For senses, indriyas. To satisfy the curiosity, to satisfy the need for the senses. That's all we're doing. Because what happens after that, you come back to your home, don't you? To the same scenery which you ran away from. Correct? Does it make sense? To some people it does. It becomes a talking point in the gathering. Oh, I went there, it was very nice, and I ate there. There were a lot of Indian restaurants, the food was very good, and on and on and on and on and on. It goes on. If someone says something to us, if someone says something to us, we do not like that. What we don't like, they say something we don't like. In addition to making us feel bad, somebody said something we didn't like, so we felt bad. But in addition to feeling bad, we develop ill feelings towards that person. Correct? And that's the fact. That's the truth. If somebody said to somebody else that some bad things to that person, they never forget. And it develops ill feeling. If somebody says something good, they forget after a while. It was nice, yeah, that's okay, fine. That is why people bury their dead, with the hope that someday their Lord will come and make them rise from the dead. Because body is important to them. Their body is their Atma. So they bury the body with the hope that somebody, their Lord, somebody is going to come and rise from the dead, and then you go to hell or heaven, whatever he says. All this is related to the body and is based on agyan or ignorance. That's what it's based on. Gita labels these people as Vimooಢātma. Vimooಢātma. Especially mood, special mood. Their mind or man is in the state of delusion. That's what their mind is. They're deluded. When you think which is wrong as right, that is delusion, delusional state. It's not truth, but to you it is truth. So, if you don't believe in it, the truth, but you believe in something which is not true. So where it will take you? Take you to a place where there is no truth. Therefore, in the beginning of chapter 13, Bhagavan said, Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetra Mitya Abhidiyate. Arjun, this body is a field. That's all it is. Kshetra, it is a field. And he gave the example of a farmer there. The importance of the farmer is far greater than that of the field. There's field out there. You can get nothing out of it. Farmer has got to do something to it. Unless the farmer sows the seed in the field, there will be no crop. So Kshetra, what is more important, Kshetra or Kshetrajna? Kshetrajna is more important because without Kshetrajna doing something in the Kshetra, nothing gonna happen. Same way, we have this body, we are residing in the body as Jivatma, we do the karma through this body, and depending on what karma we do, that's what our fate is gonna be. That's where we're gonna end up. So we have to know what this body is, what to do in this body, and what we'll get out of this from that action. The seed we sow, what we'll get out of it. Bhagavan called him Kshetrajna. That farmer, Bhagavan called him Kshetrajna. Then Bhagavan said that the body is the means and not the destination. Body is just a means to get somewhere, to do something to get somewhere. It's a vehicle. It can run, it can walk, right? So it's a vehicle. And it's not the destination. Through this, we can get to our destination, but don't think that this is the destination. When we act to satisfy the craving of senses, which makes us feel good, there the body becomes the destination. If we do something to make us feel good, what is feeling good? It's the senses. What is sense? Sense is part of the body, in the body. That's part of the kshetra. Right? So that becomes the destination. Right? We don't do anything to feel bad, do we? We don't want to do anything to make us feel bad. That too will be, destination will be the body. People do suicide, right? All that kind of stuff they do. Using this body, we must reach Paramatma. That is what this body is for. The Supreme Spirit. Any other use of the body is abuse of the human body. You may not like me saying that, but that's what comes out to be. We are abusing the body. We are not using the body for the right purpose. Isn't that what abuse is? right? If you have got a screwdriver which is a really big or a small screwdriver, and you put into a screw which doesn't fit, and you try to keep doing it, the screwdriver will break. Correct? So what is that? That's abuse of that tool. So we keep doing things in this body which are not, body is not, you're not supposed to do in this body, in the human body. So what happened? Things break down. That's where all the problems start. We're not doing what we're supposed to do. So we are using the body for wrong purposes. Make sense? I'm not saying you do whatever you want to do, that's fine. I'm just saying what Gita is teaching us. The Paramatma has been called the Gye, the one to be known. Everything that happens in the sansar happens with the union of Prakriti and, which includes 5 bhut and 3 gunas, which is explained in chapter 7, and the Purush. So Prakriti and Purush, when they get together, things happen sansar only with the union of Prakriti and Purush. So what is here? Kshetra and Kshetrajna. This happens according to the wishes of Ishwar. It doesn't happen randomly or by accident. This is Ishwar's vidhan. This is his, that's what he wanted to happen. When Prakriti and Purush are together, things will happen. Among all beings, the human being is the highest, since in the humans, the consciousness or chetana is fully developed. In human consciousness, 3 gunas work to their full extent. You understand what I'm saying here? The consciousness, in human consciousness, 3 gunas working in complete, full power, full extent. It's not that one is smaller, no, they are working full extent. Also because only humans have man or mind and buddhi. Only humans have these 2 faculties. No other body has got it. Only human body has it. That is why human beings can think and they can plan. So they can do things. That is how karma is done. That's why human beings are the only creatures who can do the karma. No other creature can do the karma. This is why human body is called Karam Bhumi. In this Bhumi, in the Kshetra, you can do karma. As a Kshetrajna, you can do karma in this Bhumi, in the Kshetra. There are other bodies of a dog or a cat or tiger, they cannot do karma because they don't have that mind and buddhi in them. They work on instinct. They are all programmed. They cannot do anything on their own, change things for themselves, nothing. But in human body, that Jivatma can do the action which can change things for him. Take him up or take him down. So that's the difference. That is why human beings are the highest being. In them, the man, buddhi and ahankar represent the 3 gunas. The man shows the rajogun because all the desires and things happen in the man. Buddhi shows the satogun. Buddhi tells what to do or what not, what is right, what is not right. That's it. Buddhi doesn't do anything else. And the ahankar expressed as tamogun. So you got three gunas which is fully developed in human psyche, human consciousness, and they are man, buddhi, ahankar, which represent rajogun, satogun, and tamogun, and they are fully developed in human body. So all three gunas are working completely to full extent through man, buddhi, and ahankar. These three gunas cause the bondage for all humans. Now, I'm speaking slowly because I want you to think. The attachment to three gunas causes Jivatma to go into the Sat and Asat Yoni. We read that in last chapter. If your Jivatma is attached to Ahankar, then goes into Asat Yoni. Is it attached to Buddhi, good, Satogun, goes into Sat Yoni. Sat means good yoni and asat is which is not good. So now in this chapter, Bhagavan is explaining these gunas. Because gunas are so important to know how they work, what they do, how we get tied up into that. Therefore, this chapter complements the 13th chapter. Purak hai. It is Purak. In chapter 13, Bhagavan said that both Purush and Prakriti have always been there. Nobody made them. They have always been there. They are not made. This is in Shlok 19. Neither of the two are created. They are given a form. They are not created, but they change their form. Who change their form? Prakriti and Purush. The forms are changed, but they are still same. It's like if you go in a show, you act like a character, some character, you put on a garb to represent that character, right? So outwardly your form is changed, but inside you are the same. Same way Prakriti is form and Purush form changes according to the situation, but they all remain the same. They are all the same. They always have been there. This is done by three gunas. Three gunas do this. Everything in the sansar is trigunatmak, meaning that everything in sansar, their atma is made up of three gunas. Atma means what propels them forward. That's what atma here means. Prakriti doesn't have an atma like we talk about atma. But the atma means the entity which propels them forward, Prakriti and Purush forward, that is the atma here. And that's Trigunatmak. Because Prakriti is Trigunatmak. All three gunas are there. That is what Bhagavan is describing. So let us take chapter 14 now.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Param Bhuyah Pravakshyami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yajñātva Munayah Sarve Param Siddhimito Gataha.
Bhagavan says to Arjun, Param Bhuya Pravakshami. I want to tell you again as a solemn declaration, pratigya, solemn declaration, telling you again. And what Bhagavan wants to tell Arjun so solemnly, Jnananam Jnanamuttamam. The supreme Jnana which is the best of all Gyan. Okay? He's telling as a pratigya, as a solemn declaration, what is the best Gyan, best of the best Gyan. Why this is supreme Gyan? Because here he tells as to why humans come into sansar and the cause of the appearance of Jivatma in sansar. Why does Jivatma come into sansar? We don't want, we all like to be here because we have a lot of fun, right? But in a sense, we're not supposed, we don't want to be here. We all want to say, we want to get away from the cycle of birth and death. When you say that, that means you really don't want, you should not be here. Correct? But you like to being here because of kshetra. The enjoyment you get out of kshetra. That's why. Other than that, there is no purpose to be here. Except to do bhakti and get out of here once and for all. Right? So, yad gyatva. This gyan is such a supreme gyan. Knowing this gyan, muneha sarve. All munis. Rishi, not rishis, munis. What they did, they param siddhim ito gata. After this life, they have attained the highest siddhi, param siddhi. All the munis, knowing this gyan, the life in which they knew this gyan, they practiced it. After that, they got param siddhi, the highest siddhi. Siddhi, what is siddhi? If you say siddhi, people say, well, he becomes powerful, he can do things, he can just show different things and all that kind of stuff. No. Siddhi means he became siddh. There is a word called asiddh. And there is a siddh, which is not siddh, is a siddh. So, when you say Siddha, giving Siddha in old times, people used to give Siddha to Brahmins who come for Bhiksha and all that. That Siddha come from Asiddh. Siddh, A. Take that A, put in front of Siddh, becomes Siddha. Means unprepared, uncooked. Okay. Asiddh, it is asiddh. It's grain, it's salt, it's flour, but you can't eat it like that. You have to make a siddh by cooking it. Then it becomes useful. Right? So these munis, with this gyan and practicing the gyan, became param siddhi. They got the highest siddhi, which means they got to Ishwar. Param siddhi. They became useful to Ishwar's cause. Right? By what? With this highest gyan which Bhagavan said, I am going to tell you, Arjun. Having known this gyan, they became free from the cycle of birth and death, which is sansar. That is what sansar is. The cycle of birth and death. If there is no birth and death, there is no sansar. Because Gita Gyan leads to moksha. That's what Gita Gyan does. Remember what Arjun asked for Bhagavan Krishna in the very beginning? You want what is Shreya? Yes, Shreyam. I am your disciple. Tell me what is Shrey, what is Shrekar for me. Means Shrey means which is beyond this creation, sansar. Prey is what is good in sansar. This comes in Kathopanishad. So here, this gyan causes separation of jivatma from sansar, which is in the form of the body. This sansar, this body is sansar. Correct? And jivatma is in it, tied up in there and completely pervading this body. The separation of jivatma from this body is what Gita Gyan tells us, how it can be achieved. Okay. Not by doing pranayam and turyavast. No. Bhagavan Krishna says, he is telling the Raj Yoga, the high path. So, and that is different from Hatha Yoga. So here, the Gyan causes the separation. When you get that Gyan itself causes the separation. It's not that you are doing it. Gyan is doing it. Gyan causes the separation of Jivatma from Sansar, which is in the form of body. Remember earlier we said, what Prakriti? The form of Prakriti changes, right? Purush and Prakriti form changes. They are eternal. So here, what's going on? Here, the form is, body is the form of sansar. And Prakriti and the Jivatma is separated from it by Gyan. Because you know what is right, what is not right. There is no doubt about it. Idam Jnanam Upashrityam Mama Sadharma Magata.
Idam jnanamupashritya mama sadharmyamagataha sarge pinopajayante pralaye navyathanti cha.
Upashritya idam jnanam. Up means near. Ashritya, taking ashraya or taking the support. Idam, this jnanam, of this jnana. Taking the support of this jnana. Okay? This jnana which Bhagavan is telling, take support, use it. Or having devoted themselves to this jnana. Sadharmya, those jeev get my guna and become like me. Okay? When you follow the jnana, this jnana of Bhagavan Krishna, what happens over time, we get his gunas. Those gunas come into us. Those gunas are explained later on in Gita. We get those gunas and that purifies us, right? And we become like Paramatma. Not Paramatma, but like, if somebody has, two people have same gun, they are like each other, right? Not that they are same, they are different, but they are like each other. Same thing here. When with the Gyan, when we get the guna of Ishwar, what are the guna of Ishwar? Saudara Lavan, Audare, Saubhagya, Daya, Maya, Kripa, Karuna. These are the guna of Ishwar. Then you become Dayalu. Daya comes into you. You don't get Kripalu, you don't get Kripa. Karuna. You feel karuna. You feel karuna about other people. In true sense, right? Those gun come into this Jivatma which is following the Gyan, this Gyan, and it becomes like Paramatma. Not that they are Paramatma. They become like Paramatma. Because they have the same gun now. Avgun has gone, gun have come in. Jeev has no gun. Those Jeev get my gun, become like me. Jeev having no gunas and no dharma of their own, with the support of this Gyan, can get my guna and become like me, says Bhagwan. Okay? Very powerful. So, in this chapter, Bhagwan tells how Jeev can become free of all bondage and be like Ishwar. He says, Mam sadharma magata, having attained to my dharma or my being, my swarup. Here, dharma doesn't mean anything but Ishwar swarup. Because dharma cannot be given. Gun can be given, but not dharma. So dharma is Ishwar swarup. Mam sadharma magata. So he becomes, and sarge api nopajayante. When he gets to my dharma, means now he is in my protection, right? Sarge nopajayante. Such jeev who have this gyan are neither born at the time of creation. Sarg means creation. During this creation, nopi jayante, they are not born. Okay? And pralaye na vyatanticha. And during the dissolution or pralay, they are not troubled. Nothing happened to them. They are not perturbed. Right? So nothing happened to them. Whether creation takes place or pralay takes place, nothing happened to them. They don't come in the creation. When the creation happens, they are not born. They dissolve, nothing happened to them. When they are not born, how can something happen to them? Right? This is the simple meaning of the shloka. Now we will go into detailed meaning. So Bhagavan is saying that with the support of this Gyan, what is this Gyan? It is the Ishwar Gyan. Gyan of Ishwar. Simply put, a Gyan is the means or sadhan to attain the one whose Gyan it is. If the Gyan is that of Devata, following that Gyan will lead to that Devata. Right? Here Bhagavan is talking about the Ishwar Gyan. So following that Gyan will lead to Ishwar. Taking support of this Gyan, Jeev gets gunas, which are called characteristics of Ishwar, and gets to the dharma or properties of Ishwar. He doesn't get the dharma, but he gets to the dharma or the properties of the Ishwar. The properties represent the Ishwar Sarup. Okay? What is property? Characteristics different. Property is every entity has its own property, which cannot be taken away. Right? Gold has certain property, right? Everything has got, Jeev has their property of their own, right? A Abhed, the Jeev cannot be killed. That's the property of Jeev, right? So here, the property of Ishwar means Ishwar Sarup itself. Dharma. That's what called dharma. And because Ishwar has, that is what Ishwar is. So, but that there, you get to it, get the guna, and through that, with Gyan, you get to Ishwar. You don't become Ishwar, you get to Ishwar. So first, with the help of the Gyan, Jeev gets guna of Ishwar. That's first thing happen. And becomes like him, the Ishwar. Then that Jeev gets to the dharma of Ishwar. The dharma of Ishwar is nirgun. Ishwar is nirgun, right? The dharmas are nirgun. That means it's beyond three gunas, Sat, Raj and Tam. Here, Jeev also becomes free of three gunas. Once Jeev gets to the Ishwar Sarup, becomes free of three gunas. Three gunas cannot get there. It's beyond three gunas. It's nirgun. In other words, here in this state, Jeev becomes free of Agyan Avidya. It is due to the Agyan Avidya that Jeev gets tied to the three gunas of the Prakriti. So, as soon as Jeev is separated from the Agyan Avidya, he becomes worthy of moksha. Okay. He's not in moksha yet, but he becomes worthy of moksha. The avidya is with Jeev like when ink is mixed with water, it looks as part of water itself. Cannot separate them. You say, this is murky water, this is blue water, right? You don't say that ink is in this water, right? Unless you know it. That is why it is so difficult to become free of avidya. Only Ishwar sees avidya and Jeev as separate. Ishwar sees Jeev and avidya as separate entities and can remove avidya from Jeev. Unless you know they are separate, cannot. You say it's part of it, so you give up, forget it. Ishwar knows it, so Ishwar can separate Jeev from avidya. Ishwar does so by giving Gyan to Jeev and have Jeev act according to it. He gives Gyan and helps Jeev act according to Gyan. That is why Bhagavan is saying that with the support of the Gyan, you see, because that Gyan is there and that becomes his support, Jeev's support to act. Jeev's Agyan is removed when he does that. And he gets my gunas, Bhagavan says, and he gets my dharma. Mam sadharma agata. Knowing this Gyan, all munis have attained to highest siddhi, param siddhi. Such Jeev having the Gyan are neither born at the time of creation nor disturbed, vyakul. They don't become vyakul during the dissolution. They come into me forever and are not affected by the creation and dissolution. Whatever goes on in Prakriti doesn't affect them. Remember that Bhagavan said that having gotten my Gyan, Jeev gets my gunas and he gets to my dharma. In this regard, Bhagavan gave the example of Kshetra and Kshetragna in chapter 13. However, here he gave the example of human beings. He talked about human beings. There he was talking Kshetra and Kshetragna in abstract terms. Here he is talking about human beings. human know that they have a mother and a father. All human beings know they have mother and father, correct? So, when a child is born, his physical attributes are like that of father and mother. And in many cases, he gets some qualities of the father and also some mother. The seed in the child is that of the father. Without that seed, there is no child. Similarly, the seed in the creation of sansar is that of Ishwar. Okay? Bhagavan explained this in next shloka.
Mama yonirmahad brahma tasmin garbham dadhamyaham sambhava sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata.
Mam yonid mahad brahma. That mahad brahma, the maya, my primordial nature, I use as the yoni. Okay? Tasmin garbham dadamyaham, in which I plant the seed from which this garb called the sansar came to be. Okay? So sansar is the garb in the yoni of Prakriti with the seed implanted by Paramatma. That's how creation come about. The seed which is planted is nothing more, is not something that in human terms. It is the pravritti of Ishwar. Pravritti means desire, ichha, that this shall happen. Okay? Ishwar said, this shall happen, this shall occur. That's all. And that pravritti, that is the seed. And Ishwar, that the creation takes place, that is the seed, that is the pravritti of Ishwar, that the creation should take place. Okay? Why? Because Ishwar wants to see every jeev as mukt jeev. Ishwar is nitya mukt entity, never in bondage of anything. You see in Mahabharata when Duryodhan said, isko bandi banao, Gwale ko, Krishna ko, he was saying, take him, arrest him. They all came following the orders. And he made himself so big, could not be. So Ishwar can never be in bondage. Even when he comes in sansar, never in bondage. So Ishwar is nitya mukta, is always mukta. Devata, on the other hand, is nitya baddha. They're always in bondage, eternal bondage. They can never be mukta. But jeev is baddha mukta. He is tied down in sansar, but he can be mukta. He can get moksha. That's the difference, right? That's why, because of that, Ishwar said, jeev must become mukt. And to do that, creation has to take place, in which jeev will be brought in, and then Ishwar will take avatar and give gyan to jeev, and through that ashraya of that gyan, like Bhagavan is saying, taking support of the gyan, jeev can become like me. I am nitya mukt, jeev can be nitya mukt too. And that is the purpose of, sole purpose of creation. Nothing else. So it is for the udhar of Jeev. One very pure and simple. So Bhagavan says, Arjun, the Mahad Brahma, my Mool Prakriti, is the yoni in which I establish the Chetan Roop Garb. From the union of the Jad and Chetan, Prakriti, there is Jad Prakriti, right? And Chetan Prakriti. From the union of Jad and Chetan, all Prani Bhut are born. Bhagavan continues this in the next shlok.
Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtayah sambhavanti yaha tasam brahma mahadyonihi aham bijah pradah pita.
O son of Kunti, Kaunteya, Sarvyonishu, in all various type of wombs, yo murtya sambhavanti, whatever embodied prani bhut are born in any yoni, in any womb, whatever prani bhut are born, tasam, for all of them, Mahad Brahma Yoni. That Mahad Brahm is the mother. The womb that holds the fetus. And Aham Pita Bija Prada. And I am the father who gives the seed. So the two type of being or Srishti, every being is Srishti, okay? We are all created, right? So every being is a Srishti, creation. The movable or unmovable, there are two type of Srishti, two type of creatures. One we move, one don't move. For both of them is Thavar or Jangam. They are created with the seed of Ishwar, Bhagavan says. Because my seed is there. That is why they are born. Thus, the relationship between the Ishwar and the Jeev is that of father and son. Okay? You understand now? So we say, Cha pita tumeva. Right? Based on this relationship, Jeev can get father's gun because he is our father. So, we are entitled to get his gunas, right? But we have to go for them. Through Gyan, we get his gunas. Now you understand? That is the relationship, and you have to realize that relationship that yes, he is my father, okay, and I am his child. And as a child, father is willing to give anything to his child. He looks all these his dosh. You don't look at his dosh. He only looks at his gun and give more gun to child. So child grows and prospers. Correct? So that's the relationship we must realize. The biggest guna of Ishwar is that he is beyond three gunas. Okay? We can get that gun from Ishwar and become beyond three gunas. That is the gun, biggest gun he has, Ishwar has. He is beyond guna, he is gunatit. And since I am the child of that Ishwar, I am entitled to be beyond three gunas, just like him, just like father. Having described how all prani bhut come into being or come in Srishti, Now Bhagavan is describing as to how Jivatma gets into bondage by the three modes of Prakriti, the three gunas. What are the characteristics of each of these three gunas and how they work in the Shrishti or in the beings? See here now understand, when we say Shrishti, there's Shrishti big thing, and every being is also Shrishti. Right? The whole sansar is in each of us. So we are also Shrishti. Before we go into those shlokas, we need to understand something, which is that the gunas themselves do not put anyone in bondage. We are bound by guna, but guna do not put anyone in bondage. The Prakriti, being Trigunatmak, in sansar, the three gunas are actively present everywhere. Okay? These gunas are born out of Prakriti, and everything is Prakriti is everywhere. So all gunas are everywhere too. All actions fall into three gunas. Whatever happens here falls into one of these three gunas. It is the Jivatma which engages in karma, which falls into the gunas and develops a relationship or attachment, asakti. Guna is not doing it. Jiva is doing it. Okay? Now consider the sansar as a huge mall. Biggest mall that there is, right? Which is full of all kind of shops. Somebody says 20% off, 50% off, right? Buy one, get one free, right? All kind of stuff shopkeepers do. Now when we go to any shop, depending on our demeanor, we get attracted to things in that shop and buy them, whether we need them or not. Impulsive buying, right? All of us do that, right? We want it, not that we need it. Once we buy it, it is ours. Correct? Now we are responsible for it. You got to find a place to put it. You got to have power to operate it. You got to provide everything for it to work. The shopkeeper got his money. He doesn't care. You got it. It's your baby. You take care of it. Similarly, Jivatma, being in the state of Agyan, is surrounded by this shopping place called sansar. We buy things, don't we? Goes into buying a spree and thus gets entangled into the three gunas. It is the three gunas which are selling things, buy this, go this, attracting you, creating a false attraction. So you go there and you buy these things, it's yours now. Now you own it. That is what karma is. Now you got to pay for it. When you didn't have any money, it's all on credit. Right? So you do all the karma, sansar karma, and now you owe. Rini, you become rini. Now you owe, now you have got to pay for it. So Shailak comes into play there. For everything there is a pound of flesh. You got to pay exactly what the cost is or the price is, no matter what. Okay? This activity results into attachment. When we buy something, that's attachment. That's called asakti. And that is the biggest problem. Why we do things? Because of the asakti, attachment. Every karma falls into one of the three gunas. The karma is assigned to a devata that falls under that guna. All devatas are under certain gunas. Like people worship Devi or Shiv, they are tamogun. Right? People worship Vishnu, they are satogun, mainly satogun. Right? Brahma, rajogun, like that. So, whatever karma happened in sansar, it goes to one of these devatas and these gunas. Gunas, there are a lot of devata in each guna. So it's assigned to a devata. No other devata will get in there. They say no. They have very disciplined system. Once the karma goes to one devata, no other devata interferes. It is yours. And that devata which administers the fruit of that action at the appropriate time in the form of pleasure or pain. Measured way. Now, think about this. Jivatma has pervaded this whole body, right? In every body, whether it be tree or whatever, animal or human. Now, Devata, who's given this body, put that Jivatma in the body and it pervaded the whole body. Now, when the Devata wants to give some sort of dukh, the Jeev cannot get away. If we want to give you knee pain, the pain is going to be there. You cannot change it to, oh, knee, I can give it to my arm. No. It's not going to happen. That phal has got to be administered because everybody owed to that devata. When they did that karma, they didn't have money to pay. They didn't have the means to pay. So now we have to pay. That's why I said Shailak comes into play. It's happened mentally, it happened physically, anyway. For whatever duration the devata is going to give that pleasure or pain, sometimes you get pleasure too, right? Very rarely, but mostly pain. So there are two ways in which Jivatma makes relationship with Prakriti. Remember we said it is the asakti or relationship with the Prakriti that causes this to happen. So there are two ways. By understanding that I am the body. That's one way. This is called Abhed Roop, meaning that he sees no distinction between himself and the body in which he is residing. Abhed, there is no bhed, we are one. And the second way, by understanding and saying that this body is mine, this is called Bhed Roop, meaning that he knows the body is separate, but it is mine. It is he. His. When he says that I am this body, it is called ahanta. Ahanta. I.e., I am that. And when he says that the body is mine, it is called mamata. Okay? Through these two, the three gunas put Jivatma in bondage. Ahanta or mamata. He saw something, he says, I like it, ahamta. Okay? Mamata, now it's mine. I have mamta with it, Right? So long as he has ahanta and mamta, the Jivatma wants to keep the body. Thus, Jivatma tied in this vasana takes birth in this sansar over and over again. Because attached to the body. One way or the other. Ahamta or mamata. So Bhagavan Krishna says,
Sattvam rajastama iti gunah prakriti sambhavaha nibadhnanti mahabaho dehe dehinamavyayam.
Mahabaho, Bhagavan says, Mahabaho Arjun, iti, these, these, sattvam, rajam, tama, sat, raj and tamas, prakriti sambhava, born of prakriti. Sambhava means they happen because of the prakriti. Meaning that these are within the prakriti, maya, and all devata who administer pleasure or pain to the jiva. They are in there. Guna, the three gunas, nibandhanti, tie down or bind fast, abhayam dehinam, the imperishable jivatma. The jivatma which is imperishable, these three gunas born out of the prakriti tie him down fast, can't get away. Nibandhanti dehe, tie or bind fast in where they tied down? In the body. Right? So when we take birth, the jeev is tied into that body. We cannot get away from it. We're gonna stay in there for the duration of the karma phal bhog. Whatever devata has got, period, it's got to be there. The three guna born within the prakriti tie down fast the jivatma in the body. What does this mean? It is that all devata under the prakriti, the maya tattva, operating within these three gunas, embodied the imperishable jivatma. They make a body for him and put him in there. Okay? Why? Because the karma phal has to be administered. You got to pay for it. How you pay? You come into this body now, and now you pay. You cannot get away. It is the Maya who knows all the actions of Jivatma, all the karma. No, Maya knows all the karma. On the basis of the karma lep, how the Maya knows? Every Jivatma, when karma is prarabdha, there is a lep put in there. Just like bar coding. It's marking on the Jivatma. It's got all information in there. What he's got to be, how, when he's got to administer this pain, when got to begin this pill, when got to whatever it is. It's all there. Maya knows it all. And as the time comes to administer the karma phal to the jeev, Maya communicates it to a particular devata. Maya tells certain devata, who then binds the jivatma in a body to administer the pleasure and the pain, the karma phal. You understand now how it is done? When that karma phal is over, Maya communicates to devata to administer the next phal to the jeev. This goes on and on and on and on. When we come in human body, we do karma. We don't even know what we are doing a lot of time because of jnana. And by doing that, every action you take is recorded. And you got to pay for it. Because you didn't have any of money for you, nothing to pay with. Okay? If you have nothing to pay with and you want it, well, Devta says, go ahead, take it. But you got to pay for it sometime. With interest. Okay, it's not even simple interest. Keeps adding on and on. This process continues till the jeev gets Ishwar Gyan. He then realizes what is being done to him by the Prakriti. Without Gyan, you don't realize. You just go with the flow. Just keep going on and on and on. Once you have Gyan, then you know what Prakriti is doing to you, making fool of you, taking advantage of your Agyan, right? It's not Prakriti's fault. It's our own fault, right? Because we don't have Gyan. Not many people want to go towards Gyan, do they? No. Please note that fruit of all actions are earned through and within the three gunas. And Devta makes a body and puts the Jivatma in that body, and the process of administering the fruit of that action starts. From conception. Okay? Right? That's where it starts. This body can take many shapes and be in any size, so long as it is appropriate for the purpose. Some people are really tall, some people are short, right? Different color skins, all kind of shapes of faces, right? It all tailor-made to certain phal given by Devta. It's not by accident. Science says because the parents were like this. But sometimes they are different, totally different. Right? Nobody knows, but it is done by Devata. They do it. They know everything in this regard. The Devata giving the body is called Dehabhimani Devata, and that Devata will make sure that you stay in that body. This Devata puts Jeev in the body in a way that it pervades the entire body. The Jivatma is, wherever you pinch somewhere, there is a little pain, Jivatma is there. Okay? You cut hairs, there is no Jivatma there because you don't feel anything by when you cut hairs. But when you pull the hair, you feel pain, don't you? Because there is Jiv in there, in the skin and everywhere Jiv is there. When there is a cardiac pain, there is a pain, you feel pain, don't you? Jiv is there. So, Jivatma cannot escape from the pleasures and the pain of the karam phal. Cannot get away. The Dehabhimani Devata protects the body until the karam phal is completed. Then leaves the body. Body is no good then. If for any reason the body dies prior to the completion of the karam phal, this Devata gives another body for the remainder of the karam phal. It's going to have to, for the whole duration, you have to feel the pain and pleasure of that karam. I hope that this has helped you understand the workings of the administration of the karam phal. Next, we will be getting into how karam phal are earned. These are earned by doing karma by the Jivatma. Earlier we saw that the three gunas born within the Prakriti binds fast the imperishable Jivatma in the body. In the next three shlokas, Bhagavan describes the ways in which each guna are expressed in Sansar and Prakriti. However, before we go into these shlokas, I would like to share what little I have learned and understand about the subject of karma. I've been fascinated by Ajnana Vidya and karma. Here we are talking of the karma. In chapter 4, Bhagavan described karma as action, karma, inaction, akaram, and the vikaram, which has been called prohibited action, or viparit karma. However, the letter V, prefix V, before karma also can denote Vishesh karma, can stand for Vishesh also, or special karma. This is when the karma is performed for Ishwar, according to his covenants. For any karma to happen, Jeev must engage in some activity in thought, speech, or physical action, physical way. In Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna called about asang. He also has talked about asang. This is the key to get some understanding about karma. We saw earlier that three gunas are expressing themselves everywhere in the Prakriti, always. And the Jivatma has a faculty called man, or the mind, which has the storage of past experiences. Now, believe it or not, our man or the mind is the same which was given to us in the very beginning of the creation. Mool Shrishti. Okay? And that man has been with us. It will stay till moksha, right? And it has a storage. It has stored each and every thought. If some thought comes to you and you forget about it, doesn't mean it's gone away. It's there in your mind. It's stored. So, now as we humans experience the expressions of three gunas with our senses, that's the only way we experience. If we at that point try to name the experience, pay attention now. We are experiences the whatever three gunas are expressing in samsara. And while we are experiencing that, at that time, we give it a name to that experience. Or evaluate that experience. You understand? We are experiencing something. Only way we can experience is through our senses, right? And three gunas we experience through senses. They are trigunatmak, senses are also trigunatmak, right? So while we are experiencing, we give it a name to that experience. This is what that experience is. Or we evaluate it, right? Good, bad, whatever. Or interact with the experience. Interact. How we interact? By doing something, right? In any way, the guna sense that. This guna sense it. That you are giving a name to it, or you are calling a name to it, or you are whatever, you are interfering with it, or you are, So guna knows it. Guna is Chetan, they are Chetan. That's power of the Prakriti. We do this based on our past experience. When we name something, we engage into some interaction. It's all because of our past stored experience in our mind. That comes out. That experience stored, come in there. When you see something, it comes out. It identifies that experience. It start interfering with that experience. Right? We also hear people say that live in the present. Right? Live in the present, right? What does this mean? It simply means not to draw on the past experiences. If you start drawing on the past experiences, you're not living in the present. What happened yesterday has happened, finished, gone, kaput. And if you draw on that and dwell on it today, you are not living in present. You are living in past. You're pulling yourself back. It simply means not to draw on the past experience is stored in our mind. But just experience it and not get into evaluating or interacting with the experience. That's what living in present means. You just live in the present, do not interact based on your past experience. Don't do nothing to it, just live in it. Just move on to what Prakriti shows us next. This is a show of the Prakriti. Like on a movie screen, the scene changes, right? So you see one scene, don't get attached to it. Yeah, it's a scene, it's gone now. This is coming. Look at this. This is coming. Now look at this. This is coming. Don't evaluate it. Don't name it. Don't do nothing to it. Just look at it. Just sense it. And move on to the next. This is where asang comes into play. Bhagavan can say, asang shastrain. This is where asang comes into play. Don't get attached to it. If we just looked, which is the normal thing for the eyes to do, or just heard or smelled, which are the natural action of the senses, and left it at that. You're going somewhere, you smell mongra, right? You smell it, oh, it's very nice smell. And it smells like mongra, right? Now you named it, you interacted with it, you performed a karma. Guna knows it, that you like it. Okay. Just smell it and move on. Yes, nice, good, wonderful, go on. It's very hard to do. Because whatever storage in our mind is, it comes out right away and names it. It's mongra. Or if you look at a beautiful rose, it knows this is rose because you have seen it before and it is stored in your mind. And it comes out at that time and does it and you are done. Okay? I'm coming to something different here now. You won't find in these books that you read. So, what will happen then? The sense, this is natural action of the senses. To see, eyes will see. Just see, let the eyes see. You don't get involved with it. Hear, ears are hearing. Drums playing, whatever. First, fine, don't get involved with it. It's playing. Ears are hearing it. I don't want to do anything with it. We will not be able, the gunas will not be able to tie us then. If you do that, gunas cannot tie us. The jnani knows that gunas in the shape of mind and senses. You understand? The mind and senses is all, there's guna in there too. All three gunas are there. That move among the gunas, the object of perception. Okay? There's guna in our mind and senses, and they are moving in the object of perception, whatever being shown to us. Right? That's also guna. There's guna guneshu vartante. And does not get attached to it. Jnani knows there's the guna which is looking at the show put on by gunas. Right? He knows guna and guna are vartante. They are doing their own thing there. So, the Bhagavan Krishna described this in chapter 3, slok 28. Guna guneshu vartante it matva na sajjate. Knowing that, Jnani knows this guna in our mind and senses, interacting with guna, playing outside, looking at a flower or smelling something. It's guna doing guna, they are doing their thing. He does not get attached to that. It matva. Knowing this, na sajjate. He doesn't get attached to it. Who is this? It's the Jnani. Here what we learned today and earlier, Bhagavan says, I'm going to give you the Jnana, supreme Jnana, taking the support of that Jnana, you shall not be go into bondage. Right? You become like me. That's what we learned today, right? Earlier. So that means the Jnani is like Paramatma. Paramatma is nirlipt. Jnani is also nirlipt. He doesn't care what's going on. It goes on. He sees. Fine, it goes on. Prakriti is doing it to Prakriti. I have nothing to do with it. Okay? It's not that he says it. It is his nature now. It has become his nature to be that way. Why? Because he has taken the ashraya of Jnana, supreme Jnana of Paramatma. Right? The senses that are experiencing and what they are experiencing, in both cases, it is the gunas that are acting and interacting. Knowing this, the Jnani does not become attached to whatever is happening. That is the meaning of the shlok. Huh? He remains engaged to what he does. He doesn't get why. Because he remains engaged in the practice or charya of the Jnana. He is following the Jnana. Okay? He took support of the Jnana. What that means? He is following that Jnana all the time. He doesn't have time for all this drama going on. Guna gunesh vartante itmatva. He says this is going on fine. I am going to do my bhakti of Ishwar. I don't care for it. He takes Ishwar Naam. He keeps on doing charya of Ishwar. Also, if we were engaged in some activity which Ishwar Avatar has designated for us to do, as the Jnani does, two things will happen. Now see here, Bhagavan says, take the support of my Jnana, right? By doing that, you become Jnani now. You got the Jnana. And Jnani will get slowly some gunas of Ishwar also. Okay? So, there's two things will happen. We will be doing the Vishesh Karma. Whatever we will be doing will be Vishesh Karma because it is being done for Ishwar by his covenant. Or special karma. One example is Ishwar Naam Smaran. Okay? This action is not known to Prakriti. The name of Ishwar, Paramatma, is not known to Prakriti. Prakriti doesn't know it. So when you take this Naam Smaran, put your mind to it. Watch it now. You're not just doing verbally. You're putting your mind to that Naam. What happened then? Then mind is elevated to that level and Prakriti cannot do anything with your mind. Understand? This action is not known to Prakriti, so the gunas will not be able to bind us. At that moment, whatever karma phal is going to be administered will not happen. Okay? But the operative word is put your man to that. That's the key. And second thing, as Bhagavan Krishna said, In chapter 7, Shlok 1, Maya Sakta Mana Partha. So here our mind will be attached to Ishwar and not the expressions of gunas. By doing this Nam Smaran, by this following this covenant of Ishwar, what will happen? Your mind will be attached to Ishwar, which Bhagavan said, do it. Because this is the nature of the mind. Mind has got to be attached to something. So Bhagavan said, attach it to me, then you're going to be beyond everything. You're not going to be bothered by anything because I am beyond everything. Beyond means out of reach. That's what beyond means. This way, we become simply a drashtva and not the doer. We become a silent watcher. We are just watching. Eyes are looking, ears are hearing, but my mind is with Ishwar. So your body, your senses are just looking and doing their thing. You become drashta. You are a silent watcher. And you are not a doer. Thus, we escape the bondage. If by practice Ishwar Nam Smaran becomes our second nature, not only we can escape the bondage of karma, we add to our worthiness to get Ishwar Gyan. Now Bhagavan Sri Krishna will go into expression of the three gunas. We will go into that next time. Sri Krishna Namaste.